Okay, I'm live. How you doing? Uh, Hey,
There he is.
we live again? Are we live? Cause
Yeah, we're live.
I did a video this morning. I went live. I haven't seen it yet.
Well, I'm relatively new to how TikTok does their lives, but like when I've done lives on my personal account, it doesn't always like I don't know where to go to actually find those videos. So that's something I got to research on my own. But
This is
um,
good, man. This is our new platform because we're gonna still be on YouTube and I told the Facebook we'll post on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. So yeah, this is good. I'm excited
yeah.
about this season, man. I had to go and put the hat on,
Oh yeah,
represent.
I got the shirt on. You know, I had to.
So yeah. I'm just excited about this fifth season, man, because we've been first 4 years, just kind of feeling our way around, had some good shows and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But we've been on Facebook mostly, but now we're just going into a new area of TikTok, getting a new demographic and some more engagement. So we truly excited about where we're going and moving on higher and what we're trying to do. Yeah.
Yeah, we're definitely doing the. Had to put a little Jay Z on it today. We did a little video today. Allow us to reintroduce ourselves. We're doing that. We're really excited. I think it's gonna be excited because we're finally, not to be rude or anything, but our demographic had mostly been boomers and Gen X, and maybe some of the older millennials. People in our age ranges. And what I think is gonna be exciting about coming to a place like this is we're finally going to be able to interact with Gen Z and Gen Alpha, and because there's a lot of great stuff. And we've said this before on the show. What I love about Gen Z is they are not the keep quiet generation. They're loud. They're in your face. If it doesn't make sense, they're going to ask questions. And I'm excited to just interact with them here. It's going to be great.
There's so much going on in the world, and they have answers. They have questions they deserve answers, and we got a lot going on, and we bring a perspective of this is we're not having church. We're talking about issues. We keep it. We try to keep it. We keep it biblically based, but we're realists too, and we understand that some things going to intertwine with politics. This is not a political show, but
Yeah.
it just about this because of how our culture is saying, but we're always going to try to give you the point of view of okay, even when me and you disagree, disagreeing shouldn't cause disunity. You can
Right.
still be unified and things like that, but we definitely your perspective of, and we in our production, we're talking about so people know. No, our number one thing is humanity, man. If it doesn't matter if it's a political subject, so to be. If it's a faith, humanity, we're going to discuss it. We're going to talk about it because that's not off limits. I'm not trying to get you to vote for who I want you to vote for. I'm not and all that, but when it touches lives, particularly children, abuse that's going on, topics we talk about, we're going to deal with it here because that's our duty. That's our number one duty as number one human beings, and definitely representatives of the Lord's church to protect human life. And
Yeah.
so if people got an issue with that, well, because they say, well, y'all talking about this and so like abortion, that's a political no. That is a issue that's dealing with lives, and
Yep.
if it get to become a problem, we're going to talk about it. And
Yeah.
so, but if we're always going to stay keep the main thing, and that's uh, truth, and that's the main thing. Because if it's not about truth, then we just messing around anyway. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about the books. We got coming out. You got coming out. I got some books coming out. I'm excited about. I stepped out my comfort zone this year in writing, and I can't wait to see what you got. Your number one fan, FJ Jones. Can't wait to see your
I
new release,
know.
stuff like that. So yeah, it's gonna be good. But no, we're gonna hit the ground running. It's gonna be bi-weekly. But also this platform too, and it gives us a chance. We're gonna between those times we're gonna be making posts like this,
Hmm.
snippets, especially when something big time come up. We'll always address it. It might not because some things gonna be it can't wait 2 weeks, and now we got this format. We can do it like this. Okay, let's I know Wednesday's our show. This issue we got to talk about, so we're gonna be able to jump in real nicely.
Yeah, we can do it quick, more on demand. You'll. I promise you will get. You may not like what you get, but you will get content from us. And I think one of the awesome things about this is you got two people who come from some fairly different places in the kingdom of heaven, right? But you'll find that even when we disagree, you'll find that the core of our love is humanity and the love of God's people, which is all people. If you're human, guess what? You're made in the image of God, and we care about you. And a lot of times with the political stuff, a lot of times, and I've had to do this on my own personal page. Um, I always have sometimes I have to put a disclaimer in the front and just say, just remember as you watch this video that you brought us here. I didn't do this. You brought it here, right? So if someone from the political world or from, any other world outside of, quote unquote religion, if you bring us in, then I have no choice but to talk. We're going to talk about it. We're not going to pull punches. We're not going to act like we didn't hear you. And, you're going to hear from us. So, strap in.
Yeah. And we have fun too. We talk about things that uplift because that's the number one thing. Uplift. We got so much going on in the world, but the main thing that I tell you, we're not filtered. We're unfiltered. We have flaws, we have issues, we have dysfunction. We're working our way through life as you work your way through life, and so we're not afraid to show our scars and show our flaws, and we'll tell you and talk about stuff that when we don't have the answer. And that's one thing talking about who we Gen Z and people like that, and one of the worst things you can do is tell them you have an answer which you don't have an answer to. Your
Hmm.
credibility is shot with them. It's okay to say I don't know. It's okay to say I need to look into that more. It's okay to say what, that's just something we just got to wait till the other side to get to, and we're not afraid to say that. When we don't know the answer, we're not going to try to come up with no cookie cutter answer, or political answer, or culturally correct answer, an answer we don't know. I seen I sent it to you. I seen just for instance, hot topic out there is somebody questioning something about Paul, something about Apostle Paul or something, and people got livid. How dare you? How dare you? Speak about the Apostle Paul. So that look, here's my thing is, there's only one person off limits in the Bible, and that man's name Jesus Christ. Everybody, we talk about Moses' flaws, and last time I read, he wrote the first five books of the Torah. But we talk about his flaws. We talk about his angers. Paul's a man without flaws. This is a man who. Do you realize who he was? This is a man who killed Christians. So
Yeah.
obviously he had flaws. So I mean that's a subject that we're going to deal with because we have deified people. And some people just, it was amazing the comments. That's why I sent that yesterday. Yeah, I think this is what we need to talk about because why
Yeah.
are people upset because people are questioning some things that Paul wrote?
Right.
It's not he was a human being. People talk about ghostwriting. All the all the apostle was ghostwriters.
Yeah.
It's what the Holy Ghost told them to write. I hope they were.
Yeah.
I hope they didn't come up with their own thing because
Yeah.
that would be yeah. So yeah, and it's topics like that aren't what quote unquote controversial, but we need to deal with. And so we just that'll be definitely a fun one to have.
Yeah.
You know,
That's definitely going to be a good one. And I always tell people, you got to remember, well, number one, Paul was a human being. Okay. So Paul was not perfect. You also have to remember the context in which Paul wrote. Paul thought the world was going to end in his lifetime. And you can see that and feel it in the urgency of his writings and the way he speaks, right? We just got to be aware of that. Paul wasn't a perfect man, but I still take great comfort in his writings. I think they're holy. I think they're sacred. But we just got to acknowledge that this was a man that was living under the thumb of Rome and had every belief that Christ was returning in his lifetime, and it comes out in his writings. And to think that, Paul's some sort of secondary deity is false. And, people treat Paul's writings as if Paul's God, and that's not true.
Paul would prefer to tell you. I think subconscious. That's what we do with a lot of people, whether it's a celebrity, whether it's a politician, whether it's a preacher. We got celebrity preachers too. I mean, it's like we put people on pedestals, and some of them love the pedestal, no doubt about it. Some of them love the pedestal that they're put on. But the bottom line is, we're the ones that caught up in deifying people and making people something really they didn't most likely didn't ask for. But we got to understand that we got to look past all that and not let anything get in the way of God and our Savior. And nobody is off limits to be questioned. You military. The emperor has no clothes. The admiral has no clothes on. I want to tell me the truth, because we got to get to that place in the church, because this is why so many movement stars and things we're going to discuss about making people celebrities and stuff like that. We deify people who don't want to be deified. When I look at Paul's writing, to me, he'll be the first to say, hey, I kill people, man. This is all about the grace of God. Don't deify me. Don't put me on a pedestal. What I wrote to you came from God Himself, and I just put it down. So, but it just shows how we can be so subconsciously doing something we don't realize that we're doing.
Yeah, I completely agree. There really is a pretty cultic following around Paul and Pauline Christianity, and this idea of bringing the entirety of Christianity through the lens of Paul. And I don't think that's something Paul would have ever wanted. I don't know. That wasn't the intent of his writings. We also have to remember Paul was writing letters, man. Like, he didn't know that this was going to become the Bible, right? He was writing letters. So, I mean, I think you got to bring all that into perspective when you read scripture, and realize that the intent of the author is not to position himself as the authority over God, but he's just getting out what God's put on his heart. And to me, it's holy and sacred, but Paul himself is not a perfect person, and he wouldn't. And I think's funny is the one person that you quote unquote should not question in the Bible specifically says, "Taste and see that I'm good. Try me out." So no one, even if Jesus invites us to ask questions of him, Paul, that certainly doesn't give Paul a pass. The apostles don't get a pass. The writers of the Bible I don't get a pass. You don't get a pass. We can all be questioned, and I think that's healthy.
And I think that's the issue that we talked about on the show. We'll talk about it again, and how narcissism raises its ugly head when you don't question that leader. And then, you can spiral into abuse because you can't question the leader. Because if you question the leader, then you're going against God, and abuse is going on, and they don't call the authority. So it can spiral to out of control, because we do this subconsciously to people. We make people, deify people, and put people in harm's way. Because we don't want to recognize the frailty of humanity, and we all should be questioned. We all should have to self-evaluate and be evaluated. We are human beings, and we're subject to fall, temptations, frailties, weaknesses. We all have them, and these apostles, prophets in old days, and are no different than human beings. They're men and women who had their trials.
Yes.
And that's the bottom line we're going to. We're here to help people, not about fortune. We're here to help people to deal with things that they might not can ask in their church, or their church don't have time to deal with. We're here to help them and help you and help us live in this life thing we call life, and trying to make it through it, because it's not easy. It's not easy, And you have a beautiful story and what you came through in life, and I have a story, and we're looking forward to hearing y'all's story. and share your story with us. And we always say it's a place, it's a safe place, but be comfortable being uncomfortable.
That's right.
Because
It's the only way
because
you're gonna make it through our show.
yeah, and it's good. So yeah, man, August 9th is coming fast. We're gonna keep making a few videos here and there just to get people going, and we're gonna kick it off August 9th and just go forth and and just do God's work, man.
That's right. Yeah. Stay busy.
That's
Stay ready. You don't have to get ready.
right. That's right.
Yeah.
All right. So Celtic Bishop, what does that mean? Celtic
All
Bishop.
right. Yeah. So, I mean, but our new platform may not know. So I'm ordained in the Celtic Christian Church, and I was appointed a bishop in that church. And what I really love about being a bishop in the Celtic Church is that there's really no authority associated with it. You're a teacher. You're there for people, and I love that about my group. It's not about the clothes, and it's not about the title, and it's about do people trust you enough, and have you studied enough to give advice, to give comfort, and are you willing to do what's necessary for people, not just the people of God, not just those that claim Christ, but everyone on earth. And that's our job. There were no Christians on this planet when Jesus showed up. So, I think I have I have an amazing example to try to emulate. So, yeah.
Well, I love your heritage, and people gonna find love. I love the tradition. I love your trip to Ireland. That I know as your friend how that profoundly affected you, and your family went with you, and that's good to know your roots. And I'm glad when people hear more about that, because we get so divisional and so in our boxes, in our corners, and things like that, that we forget that we humanity, but we got different backgrounds, and it's a beauty in everything. It's beauty in all this. It's a beauty out of all the ugliness. There's beauty, and you have a beautiful tradition that you really follow and adhere to. But I love most about it, you love God, and you have a beautiful story, and sharing that story with people can see that we're not just people. You're not just people just talking from just something you read in a book. It's this life you live, and it's a beautiful tradition. I'm a pastor here. We're both me and Bishop John. He's a retired senior chief. I'm a retired chief in the United States Navy, and we came together as brothers. God called us together doing a scandal. What
Yeah.
we call a scandal within with the Kaepernick issue of kneeling, and our first show. I remember our first show is America is this country a Christian nation. So that what kicked it all off. We thank God for bringing us together, and we've been just trying to do the Lord's work on using social platforms to just be a blessing to people. I think we have, but looking back at that situation, I thank God for that situation, because we may not have came together, united in blood, but by the blood of God, united by the brotherhood of the Navy, brotherhood of being a chief. So that's why we're Bishop Brothers, because we have a lot of blood ties of brotherhood, not just the gospel, not just God. It's life experience, and just serving in the military, United States Navy. So I say that to say this. Don't ever think we don't love our country. We love
Yes.
our country. So don't get it twisted where, we saying something, I always go back to the James Baldwin quote when he said, what, I love America, and that's why I reserve the right to perpetually criticize it, because I always want to do better. And we can surely say that. We love this country, and we put our lives on the country. So we're saying it not because of lack of love, but because, chastisement comes, and we need to be better, and we can do better. We can do better with our kids in our schools and stuff like that. We can do better. So, yeah.
Yeah, and we have a fiduciary responsibility to, especially when it comes from the assembly, when it comes from the quote unquote church, we have a fiduciary responsibility to call that out if it's toxic, if it's patriarchal, if it's hateful, if it's bigoted. We have no choice. To me personally, I don't have a choice. I must say something, and that's not coming from a place of like I don't ever make mistakes. That's coming from a place of I'm tired of the assembly. I'm tired of the church being used as a weapon, and Scripture being used as a weapon to leverage paradigms, to leverage political power, to leverage, all these different things that where people, design their national, political, racial identities, right? We're going to call that out. You're going to hear from us if you do that, and we find it. Which now we're both on TikTok, so it's a lot easier to find here. You know, you just stand by. You're gonna get called out. It's gonna happen.
I love it, man, on the screen. I've been trying to get light over the last 5 years. Not working too good, but I'm still trying. I'm trying to get. We look different because we are different. Yeah,
That's
yeah. Man. Hey, God brought us together because you know what? Our unity, our differences are our strength, not our weaknesses, and we have a love for one another that's it's deeper than all these platforms because it's all about truth, man. It's all about what are we doing? Why are we destroying lives? And what are we doing, particularly in the house of God? We believe, one of our core beliefs is the system that, you're going to see us come against the church. So if you got a problem with that, this might be a problem. When the church, because our number one duty is to protect the house of God. Paul, like Bishop John said, Paul wrote these letters to churches, not the world. He wouldn't write letters to the local strip club.
right.
He was writing letters to the Corinthian church, the Galatian church, the church of Philippi. And so we must also make sure that the church, that you so-called church, you're gonna get called out here because if you're saying that you bishop, elder, whatever, and you're hurting people, you're gonna get called out because I always say Jesus' harshest words were for church, so-called church folks. You look at his harshest words were for them. He wasn't not the sinners. His harshest words were for people who were supposed to be touching lives and changing lives, and for the people. That's why he
Yep.
reserved his harsher word, even in the apostles also. So yeah, uh, we're, we're pro humanity, pro God, pro truth, pro right versus wrong, and and that's where we stand. Yeah, and so we excited about that.
All right.
All
Well,
right.
we won't give too much away. It's
Yeah.
coming. Y'all get ready.
We're coming in August 9th, and we'll be on a couple more times just to keep you coming. So like and follow us right here. Now you on TikTok. To make sure you're here, but we're here. We'll be here August 9th and fired up and ready to go. And almost time for the fire to be lit again.
Yep. Smoke's coming. Smoke inbound.
All right. All right.
All right. We'll see y'all.
All right.